Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff Mom Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome. And we are returning to our very beloved, I'm saying it because at least 3 or 4 people like it, series with our happy hour sub-series, of course, of our watch party or viewing of Sex and the City. And it's season 2. Y'all, we're back to season 2. And you know, Anney, I feel like the last episode that we did, the finale with Bridget, was such a big hit. We needed to keep with some guests. And doing so, we have our ever-beloved, amazing producer, Christina, joining us. Yeah!
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm here.
Yes! Yes. We are so glad that you are here. Christina is the one that makes these episodes look easy because she listens to our watch through and finds the appropriate clips. So you are amazing, and we're so happy to have you. And also, I think this is going to be really fun because unless I'm wrong, you haven't seen Sex and the City, have you?
No, I was going to say editing all of season 1 was a very interesting way to watch season 1 for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't really watched anything else besides the episodes I've sort of edited. And even so, I haven't kind of missed some visuals in that process. But yeah, I'm pretty new. I think I saw a movie in the movie theater at one point, but I have absolutely no recollection of it whatsoever. But I had fun that night.
That is amazing. And this is the type of things we want to do.
Yes. So yeah, I'm new. I'm a newbie.
You're a newbie to this. Well, before we start, because I have so many questions to ask, and then Anney's going to give an amazing roundup of season 1 in a minute. I know she is. But before we start that, because it isn't happy hour, A, if you are drinking, please drink responsibly. Whatever you're doing, be responsible. We've said this before. B, we are not sponsored by any of the drinks that we're talking about. Again, put this out there. If anybody wants to sponsor one of those things, go ahead and let us know. Go ahead and let Christina know. It would be a beautiful thing. But so, Christina, as the guest, what are you sipping on today?
Oh, well, I am showing the camera. I'm sipping on a glass of wine. It's a Cabernet, boxed wine, nonetheless.
Yes.
From Aldi.
Yes.
Great deal.
Yes.
And it tastes great. And there's so much of it. Like, it seems like never ending. It's delicious. And
it looks very fancy in your
thank you.
Like,
I do
golden rimmed goblet here.
I got these wine glasses because they reminded me of The Sopranos.
Ooh.
Something Carmela would drink
so
out
fancy.
And it's also, look how much wine I have in it. It's way too much.
I love
You're
that
ready.
You watch The Sopranos and not Sex and the City.
I wonder what that says
That sounds
about
about
me.
right.
There's no judgment. I just find it very fascinating. And also, everybody, to paint a picture, Christina has a fancy light bulb. So there's like a red-white dichotomy going on.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
She's hardcore right now. This is what we say. Anney, what are you sipping on?
I'm also sipping on boxed wine.
Yes.
Mine is a Malbec. And it is also delicious. I was going to make a cocktail, and then I had a panic moment because we're using a different technology than we normally use.
Right.
So I had to deal with that.
You know, wine is a delicious drink, so there's no need to make excuses whenever accessible. Go for it. I did decide to be fancy today because I was like, I don't have any wine. This is what I'm going to do. And I ended up making a cocktail with fresh cherries and basil, fresh lemon, muddled all that together, added some vodka, which we have a nice vodka from Fourth Ward Distillery here from Atlanta. And then I mixed it all up and added some bubbly water. And I made myself a cherry lemonade with basil today.
Oh, that sounds
It is very
so
red,
good.
though. So we're all on a theme with red.
It's so pretty, too.
I'm very proud of us. Thank you. I added a cherry.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
One
I would
cherry.
love
Looks beautiful.
I'm so fancy. Yeah. But yes, I am so glad to come back to this segment because, yes, I love this series. I didn't actually watch The Sopranos, and I feel bad. I feel like I need to go back to watch those, but whatever. Right now, here's what I need to know from you, Christina, because you kind of have a gist. So I'm going to give you a quick pop quiz. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Who are the 4 main women we are following?
Okay. Number 1
You can do
obviously is. I'm drawing a blank. This is the easiest question. I should be able to know it.
Like obviously is. Yes.
It's Carrie. I'm trying to buy time. It's Carrie, Samantha.
There you go.
Carrie,
Yes.
Samantha. I should know this.
Would you like to buy a letter?
Buy a letter. I'll buy one letter.
I see her doing M. The beginning of one character's name is M.
Miranda.
Yes.
And the last one is...
It's a city in North Carolina.
Raleigh. Just kidding.
That's amazing.
Charlotte.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. I wouldn't have gotten
You
that.
just went for Raleigh.
I wish it was
amazing.
Raleigh. If I'm being honest.
Raleigh is a great name.
Do we have a name? I don't know anybody named Raleigh, but now I want that to happen. There you go. You pass. I'm not going to put you on the spot anymore. But yes, those are our 4 main characters, and we are back. But before we start talking about season 2, Anney, can you give us a recap on what happened in season 1?
I'll do my best.
I have faith in you.
Thank you. I appreciate it and need it. So we had a lot of great conversations around all kinds of things like singlehood versus marriage, becoming a mother, like going to the baby showers, the female body and art, anal sex, consent, which is more something that we talked about watching it, farting in front of your boyfriend, being perfect, perhaps, and then a religion and marriage, and also the kind of, Samantha, I always thank you for teaching me this term, defining the relationship of like having that conversation with your partner, in this case, Carrie and Big, of what do we want out of this relationship? Oh, we want different things. We have to break up, which is pretty much where we ended.
Yes, there you go.
So,
nice little wrap up.
All the ladies are single starting this season.
All but one. I believe Samantha is still with James at this point in time.
Okay.
Who
Okay.
is a blip. So we're about to see what happens. But okay, nice little wrap up. Most of them, yes, are single. We have a tragic breakup, and I put that in quotes, between Big and Carrie because he was not willing to go into the I love you, we're in a relationship. They were not quite in a situationship. They were a little more than that, but he still didn't want to define it. And that's how it ends. And this is where we are with some really, awkward scenes. And I was like, oh my God, I hate the scene.
Yeah, the church.
And Bridget knew immediately. Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
You were on it. You were on it.
Yeah.
We're back to season 2 with the episode titled, all right, so this is our favorite game, Christina, and I'm going to give you a chance too. So both of y'all can tell me what you think this is going to be about without reading anything, Anney, other than the title, Take Me Out to the Ballgame, which was, by the way, released in 1999. How old were you, Christina?
It depends on the month.
No, I don't want to need your age. I was going to say, were you were you in high school? Were you in middle school?
Yeah. I was like pre-elementary school.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
Apologies.
This is where I know. I said high school knowing that I was about to graduate high school at this point in time. And Anney, you were in middle school?
In 1999? Yeah.
Oh, yes. All right, so I probably would have been your daycare teacher or
wish.
babysitter
You would have been a
along
great
this way.
Yeah. I wish you
That's
were.
hilarious. Hilarious. So, back to, released in 1999, season 2, episode 1, Take Me Out to the Ballgame. What do you think this episode is going to be about?
Ooh, this is a tricky... My knee-jerk answer is it would be Carrie trying to get back into the dating game. So Take Me Out to the Ball Game being like, maybe she goes on a date with a guy to a baseball game, or maybe it's just a larger metaphor for her like getting back in the dating game, as they call it.
Okay. What do you think, Christina?
All right. So the first thing that comes to my mind is some baseball tropes you see in TV. So I could see this happening where maybe one of the women get hit with a baseball or catch a baseball, a foul ball, or a home run. I could also see some conversation about the big billboard proposals that happen in baseball. I don't think any of them would be proposed to, but I could see that. I don't know. It's a trope that is done a lot. And also just, the four of them going to a baseball game and maybe being out of their element, or maybe a few of them are. And I wasn't considering a play on words like you, Anney, but unfortunately, I think there could be some talk about balls just knowing the show, knowing what I've seen so far, there could be some.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that. Something about balls.
But you know what? I'm not going to give it away, but that's pretty good, Christina. That's pretty good.
Christina, you nailed it. Like,
I don't know.
You buried niche. Like, this is what it might be. Very good.
Yeah. All right. With that, let's begin.
The odds of bumping into the one who broke your heart are incredibly high.
Have y'all experienced this? Like seeing your ex at the worst possible time?
Yeah, I think I have.
Yes.
And also I think I've seen an ex, but it just was somebody somewhat similar, like what just happened.
Yes.
That's happened to me too. I was at a low moment and I was like, oh my God, it's my ex. And it was definitely not my ex, but he looks like him.
But you start thinking you see him everywhere.
Yeah. It feels like they're like a ghost that's hanging over you. Like,
yeah.
It really
I remember
is.
all these times we hung out here, or here. Oof.
Ooh.
It takes half the total time you went out with someone to get over them.
I always like a good math solution to any love problem.
It's the breakup rule. You and Big only went out for a year, so that means that she's got 5 more months to get over him.
No, you gotta cut your losses and get back in the game.
So, did you ever hear that rule before? That whoever you break up with, you have half that time you were together to get over it? Has that ever been a thing you knew about? I didn't either.
I haven't heard that.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, you have to obey that
seems
rule.
awful, because if you've been with someone for 10 years, you have to take 5 years to get over it.
I've had the experience of like, I live in Atlanta and my ex-boyfriend, I get certain things and you get certain things. And you go over this way, I go over this way.
Yeah.
And Dragon Con is a big contention point between us because I feel like that's mine. You can't come, but he disagrees with me. So
maybe he should have to wear like a mask so you can't know it's him.
Oh God! But that would be like the Disney Plus movie where you meet and then you fall in love and then
No,
it's the
you're
ex-boyfriend.
Or like Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I were a ball player, I'd be batting whatever really bad is.
Oh my God!
And there's
Christina,
the ball.
you're
Which
a
is why I
genius.
said, look, you're getting a lot of points here, Christina.
Christina,
Yeah, you got a ball.
You are a genius.
It's a trope. I mean, of course it had to
You
happen.
did
It had to
You did
happen.
In a world where leaving each other seems to be getting more and more frequent, what are the breakup rules?
Whatever you do, man, don't cry. Because if you do get back
I need to
together
know,
again,
what are the breakup rules? Do you two have breakup rules?
It feels like a divorce in a lot of ways. It's like they're my friends, they're
yeah.
your friends, and we will not interact in these spaces anymore. I will never text first ever again.
Yeah.
I don't contact them unless they contact me first. I guess that's my biggest rule.
Yeah. I try to do that too. Like they don't deserve my attention anymore.
Yeah.
Ooh! I just do it because I think they might misinterpret my...
I delete them because I don't think they should exist anymore.
Oh, that's even better, Samantha.
Jeez. Wow, we have like a real spectrum, a continuum here. Okay, here's another question about the breakup rules. If you got invited to an ex's wedding, what would you do? Would you go? Would you bring someone else?
Well, I will start off by saying I am never invited to weddings, so it'd be hard to turn that down. I feel like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to another wedding. I can't believe it." Do I just not have friends getting married? I love weddings. I guess I would go if I was invited, maybe, unless I was still sad over them. I would have to bring my own date, of course.
Right. I would have to have a date, and it was according to why they were inviting me. Are we still friends? Are you being an ass?
Yeah.
Why?
Would you like put a lot of thought into your appearance for this wedding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't not.
Yeah, me too.
I'll buy a new dress, damn it. Or suit.
I think I wouldn't go unless I had a good friend or somebody I could like lie that we were dating.
Right. Oh, I'll find somebody.
Yes.
And here Christina's about to get a new point.
There we were. 2 single gals out on the town with our ball players.
Oh.
He's a ball player.
Oh.
Literally.
Oh my God. Christina, you are fantastic.
Can't
2
believe
single gals out on the town with our ball players. That's what she said.
And for those listening, the guy grabbed his testicles.
Because he's tugging at those boxers.
Yeah, it must be hot in there or something.
I can see how it could be itchy.
I'm
I
sure.
don't know.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, when the underwear is too tight and you feel like you've been like pulled together by shoestrings around your stomach and you're just trying to wait for someone to release it.
Yes.
Oh my God! Hot Yankee Joe Stark on town with New York columnist and sexpert Carrie Bradshaw.
Sexpert. It was a proud day for me.
Oh, honey, that dress just...
So this whole level of like, how soon do you take your relationship public? This is not the same thing because they're talking about the fact that she gets, outed with her New York Yankee.
Yeah.
But just wondering, how soon do you take public?
Well, as I've said before, I never did it with my ex, and we dated for 3 years with like social media. But I was open with other people, and we did have a big fight once because I accidentally called him my friend when I was introducing him to people. That was not good. I think it's up to the people in the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm somebody personally I'm not focused on that aspect of it, but I know it's important to other people.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is
Christina?
important for some people to feel recognized publicly. But I am also very private about my dating life. I'm more like if they send me a Facebook relationship request, I would say sure, but I'm not going to send one myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still unofficial on my Facebook, and I've been with this person for like 5 years.
Okay, that's it. I'm out of here. All we talk about anymore is big or balls or small dicks. How does it happen that 4 such smart women have nothing to talk about but boyfriends? It's like 7th grade with bank accounts. What about us? What we think, we feel, we know. Christ. Does it always have to be about them? Just, give me a call when you're ready to talk about something besides men for a change.
Oh, this is a big part. I think I talked about this before. It's Miranda losing her mind because they can't talk about anything but men.
She has a great point.
She does.
So I always love that. And like at first you get really like, oh, she's being so abrasive. But I'm like, no, as an adult, you're like, yeah, eventually, surely it gets tiring.
Yeah.
The coach had no choice but to bring in a pinch hitter.
What's that?
It's my vibrator. I thought it would be fun.
Well, I think just us might be more fun. I mean, that's not a problem, is it?
Oh, and now we get to go on to move on to James. Poor James and Sam.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, personal question. What is your take on sex toys or toys in relationships? Real personal.
It's too judged, I think. Just like they showed right now, like he was a little insulted that she brought it out, but
I think, if you discuss it beforehand, I think it can be a great boon for your sex life and your pleasure.
I don't even see why men get upset over it. It's not like men vibrate.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're being replaced.
Did you say men don't vibrate?
Yeah, they don't really vibrate.
That's
So it's
amazing.
why are they jealous of a vibrator?
I think they're threatened because they're like, oh God. But that just means it's a supplement. And as long as you're being a communicative, open partner, then that's great. That's a supplement. It's fantastic.
Yes.
No need to be threatened.
Also, it can be fun and change up a little different.
Yes.
You add things, spice it up, and make it a little, new.
Yeah.
Being creative.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she cries in the middle of their kiss.
I'm really sorry. It's not you. This is really embarrassing.
I have puked in the middle of a kiss,
I'm really
so
embarrassed.
top that one.
No, I don't think I'm okay.
Okay.
No?
I need to unpack that.
I was sick. I had
Did
a
you pull
cold.
away?
I threw up on his lap. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Yeah.
I think it happens.
It did. Yes.
I think everyone has a kind of embarrassing puke story.
And an embarrassing kiss story.
And you just did both in one.
I did.
But to be fair, he wasn't. Maybe he should have been more embarrassed than you.
God, I told him I was not feeling well.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm sorry, Anney. Yeah, Christina beat you on this prediction of this episode, whether it's because she just knew how these plots go, but she won. Like, she even guessed the ball playing. I was like, oh, wow, she knows. And then the fact that someone's going to catch a fly ball, what? So
I would say you cheated, but I know you're too honorable for that, Christina.
I just watch a lot of TV,
As well as she's never watched this.
Yeah, I was surprised there was no Billboard proposal.
That's the one they don't have. Well, no one's getting proposed to, so that's why we are not anywhere near that, other than seeing Sam in an unrealistic, unhappy relationship. There's no other real relationships to be seen here, but good job, Christina, knowing all of the tropes here.
Thank you. I'm super surprised. I was really actually surprised, although they did some balls stuff, but it wasn't a lot. They just showed somebody itch it once, and they talked about a bulge.
Well, they broke up.
Yeah.
They broke up over it. I will say that part. So that was something in that. We kind of were talking through that part.
You're right.
But she tried to buy him underwear because she was trying to correct
that was
his ball problem.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he was like, this is too personal. You're trying to change me. Which he's not completely wrong. She was trying to correct his behavior in a way, I guess. Yeah. So, Christina, I need to know, what did you think of your first introduction? I guess second if you watched the movie, but introduction to the series of Sex and the City.
It's just what I thought it would be. I feel like I had an idea of. I think that's why I did pretty well with the predicting what would happen, because I have sort of watched all of season 1 with both of you. So it's been very an interesting way to consume this show. Sometimes I miss pieces, so I'm definitely not all the way there.
Right.
Because I'm going to have to cut around. But yeah, I think this episode was what I thought it would be. Obviously, because I did so well. Not to brag or anything. I think Anney did very good too with getting back into the dating game, and
she did. She understood that part. Yeah. There was the breaking of the rules, but everything else, and then you did say some puns, so you are right about that as well, Anney. But yeah, sorry, Christina won bragging rights on this one. Yeah, and I think it's very interesting in it because there is a lot of conversation when it comes to the breakup and how big of a deal it was for Carrie. I think this is her second big relationship for her. So this was even more significant in trying to get over someone. And then Miranda's attitude and why can't we talk about anything else but men and boys? I think she was just tired of centering men like they do all the time. So she was like, you know what? I'm so over. And maybe it's if you're not dating, and at this point she's not dating, she has nothing to add to the conversation. So she's just like, I'm just here. Which I've been there, like when people talk about getting married and then they're talking about what, like, so before I bought a house, I swear to God, I'm trying not to be this person, but like them talking about houses and you have nothing to add and you're just like, this is a very adult conversation that I have nothing to add. Can we talk about something else? You know, stuff like that, I think could be a part of that, which I agree to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But also, feeling sorry for yourself for a certain amount of time. How long do you let that go? Especially for a friend. Like, how long do you let them wallow in misery?
Yeah. And I've certainly had recently I've had conversations with friends where I'm just like, I want you to be able to come to me with your boy problems, and that sounds so dismissive, and I'm not. But to me, I'm kind of like, I don't get it. Like, it's not a thing. And so I'm trying to be very supportive and helpful, but it is like, this guy sounds like you should just leave him behind. So that's a part of it too.
I feel like it's super beneficial to just say stuff out loud, even if they don't want a response. You know what I mean? Like if you're going through something and you just want to voice it to somebody, like a friend. Sometimes people don't even want advice, although I always want to give advice for sure.
Me too, but I think that's excellent advice you gave to not give advice.
Yes, actually, absolutely. So I do have to ask, what was your worst breakup? Oh yeah, I'm getting nosy.
Oh, she is.
I think I have two in mind. One was in high school. It was with like my first boyfriend. And it reminded me of this episode because I lived in a small town, so like, you go to Walmart, you're going to see everyone you know. And I always would, have my eyes open just to see if he would be there. I was always nervous. I didn't want to like go anywhere I think he could be, or I would think I saw his car, or I would see a car that was his model. And it hurt me so deeply, maybe because I was just a teenager and I was, super into him. But, in hindsight, it wouldn't have never worked. I don't think that was a relationship that was meant to last. And then my other one was my college boyfriend, which, not too long ago. It was bad because he broke up with me over a phone call. Because I moved to Atlanta at that point, and he stayed in Pennsylvania, and he knew I wasn't going to come back, but I didn't know that. I was like, I could still come back. And there's no chance he was going to move here. And he ended it in it was a few-year relationship over a phone call. Not my favorite. I just felt like that was pretty dismissive. Pretty lazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were my two sad moments.
Oh.
But overall, I wasn't even that sad over the college boyfriend one. I was just insulted.
How long was your the recovery process? It goes on continually, but how long would you say you were like,
I think for high school one, I was definitely for much longer because I was in my small town and was just in high school, so I didn't have much going on. But college one, I was living in a whole nother state, so it was much easier to get over it. I think if I had stayed in Pennsylvania, it would be worse because he was the only hobby I had was visiting him and hanging out with him and staying at his house and stuff. So I think that helps a lot, but that's not always the solution, is moving away or having moved away already. That's got pretty lucky there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've had a lot of breakups that have stuck with me. Probably the last one I had, I dated this guy for 3 years. And I really thought it was going to work, and I wanted it to work, but it was more because I wanted it to work because that's what society told me that should work. And so that breakup, I have kind of come to terms with, but it does haunt me in the sense that I'm like, this was my chance. This was it to be a, quote, normal person and get a house and have kids and all of that stuff. That was it. Like, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to find that again. I don't necessarily want to find that again, but that was my big, I'm going to give it a swinging shot. We're going to do this. And it definitely, as I said, the breaking up with him was a study in just the what ifs and the memories that are everywhere that you're like, oh, yeah, we could have been this. I remember going here and we talked about this. And that was probably my most painful breakup, but it was more of it was painful in the sense that it was like recognizing this is never going to be your life, I think.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that too. Because if I had stayed with my college boyfriend, I would have had to have stayed and lived a whole different life. I wouldn't be, in Atlanta. I wouldn't be working on CT. I wouldn't be on this podcast. Can you believe it?
Terrible.
Yeah. It is
That would
weird
be
when there's
awful.
like such potential, but sometimes the potential doesn't have to be all there is.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course, at that moment in time, you're like, oh no, everything's ending and this is the worst place I could be. But then it's better. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm fine. I'm so glad that didn't happen because you were a mess. And that's always a backtracking. But yeah, I attach to people. If I let them in, I attach to people pretty heavily. So losing them feels like death, which is why I'm like, you can't exist anymore because I've mourned you at this point and you're done. And I've only done that with like, one or two people in my life when it comes to relationships. And it like I would linger for about like 6, 7 months, 8 months, a year, and then finally move on. But it would be a whole thing for sure. And I still feel that way. I think I've gotten less because I'm pretty closed off, and with things like that, it makes me want to be more closed off. But, that's me. So we're taking a quiz because I feel like that needs to be a new segment for guests. They have to take quizzes with us. Based on this BuzzFeed quiz, which makes no sense to me, who are you in Sex and the City? Which girl are you?
All right, I took the quiz. Before I reveal my answer, I would love to hear what both of you think I would be.
Oh, I'm going to go with, I bet it's going to say something like Carrie.
I think it might be Samantha.
Okay, it's Carrie. I got Carrie.
I know.
I'm a little surprised by it, but it's not a bad character to be.
Yeah, read the description.
Yeah, you're a go-getter and always up for a challenge. You like the idea of love, but you value friendship more. You feel like men are like accessories, but your friends are like shoes. Much more fun.
Interesting.
I do like my friends a lot.
If you told me like your friends are like shoes, I might be offended.
You guys are like
okay.
shoes to me.
She loves shoes. She spends
Yeah.
She
like
does
a
love
down
shoes.
payment's worth of money for shoes. We'll talk
She
about that
does
later.
love-
But Anney, who did you get?
I got Samantha.
I was gonna say I bet it's Samantha. Isn't it?
It says you're one wild person. You love to date and have fun, but getting serious is really not your style. You'd much prefer one steady group of friends over one man forever. You're great at giving advice because ... you're so carefree. Yeah, okay.
You're so carefree. You are carefree. Part of
I
that's
feel
true.
like friends are above men for sure.
Right.
That's correct.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Y'all have a guess for mine?
I thought you would be a Miranda, but you were surprised. So that makes me think you're like a Charlotte?
I'm going to say Miranda.
You are correct. I was a Charlotte, apparently. It says, you're incredibly pretty and intelligent. You like to stick to the rules because, well, they're there for a reason. That's true. Your biggest dream is having a family. Not true. You also have an amazing eye for design. Not true. Overall, you're loyal and loving to everyone who deserves it. That's true. It's half and half on that one. None of us have Miranda, which is shocking.
I kind of was wanted to be Miranda.
Yeah. Don't we all? She's the new generation. Like, that's the icon now.
Yeah.
Like, we'd see her for who she was, even though she was seen as kind of villain. Not really, but, like, for a while, that's the least desirable character. And I'm like, no, she was the character. Her and Samantha were the characters that we really, really should be looking at. But yay, thank you so much for coming on, Christina.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's such a special episode to be on, first of a season. So I appreciate the invite, and I had fun, and we'll have to do it again.
Yes, please. And thank you for all your amazing work. We get to say it, but not to your face so often. So thank you for all the amazing work you do and for making us sound coherent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm excited. This was fun, and I think
Keep going.
we could
do
we
it
should
again.
revisit in a
Yeah.
future episode because that was a good time.
Yeah.
In the meantime, listeners, thank you so much for listening. If you would like to contact us, you can. Our email is stephaniemomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter @momstuffpodcast or on Instagram @StuffINeverToldYou. Thanks as always to our super producer, Christina, who is here in the house.
Yes. Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.